You do not have to sound lame when you're playing blues-based rock on piano. I'm going to teach you a very simple trick that's going to help you get your cool back in this video. I'm Piano Man Steve. I help busy people living busy lives who have a passion for making music get the most out of the piano with the limited time that they have to dedicate to it. So, let's get started. If you followed me much at all, then you know that I teach a system that ignores notes altogether written on the page, and instead we focus entirely on chords, rhythm patterns, and simple chord-based improv techniques to play fills, licks, and solos. The crux of it is that I believe it should be every bit as easy to sit down at a piano and jam out a new song as it is to do on the acoustic guitar. And what is required of that is to be able to plug chords into a rhythm pattern. So what I'm going to do today is teach you a simple rhythm pattern for blues-based rock that I think is going to make every song feel 10 times more authentic to you. And if you're unfamiliar with what a rhythm pattern is, it's the equivalent on piano to a strumming pattern on acoustic guitar, all right? And that's the only difference, is that in piano, they never get around to teaching you how to do that. They immediately put you staring at notes on the staff. And on acoustic guitar, the first thing they do is teach you how to form chords up on the neck of the guitar and teach you 3 or 4 strumming patterns. And so even people who bail out on lessons after they've learned that have a way to make music. And they should teach you that first in piano, but they don't. Most of the time, you're lucky if you learn it at all. So this is what changed my life as a piano player, and I hope it'll change yours as well. So as I said, we're going to learn a rhythm pattern for blues-based rock that I think is going to make everything sound 10 times more authentic, get rid of that cheesy sound that comes out. We're going to start with the left hand. So for today's example, we're going to do in the left hand what I call a syncopated feel. Sometimes we call it the heartbeat feel. We're going to do something a little different in the right hand than I've taught in some of the videos that I've done, though. In the left hand, we're just going to have you do this pattern, okay? So the tempo is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You're playing and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1. Can you hear how it's thump, 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 thump? That's why we call it the heartbeat feel. And what this does is it creates a foundation for what we're going to do in the right hand to lay on top of it and contrast and complement it. So your left hand is going to basically be your bass guitar and your drummer. And your right hand, over the top of it, we're going to retrofit sort of a standard blues riff that guitar players have been using since before electricity. Okay, now it got really, really mainstream when Chuck Berry started using it a lot, and it's been a staple in rock and country and R&B and blues ever since. Let me put my teaching screen up. So what they do on guitar is that they'll literally play on just 2 strings, okay? And so let's take a C chord. And on the 2 strings, what they'll do is play a power chord. That's kind of like a major chord, except you remove the 3. So if a major chord is C, E, G, like this, I'll give it a little more volume there. If a major chord is C, E, G, okay? We're going to take that E out of there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're just going to play the 1 and the 5. Okay? So they play a power chord, and then they toggle back and forth between that 5 and the 6 and back to it. So in this case, 6 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A, right? So it's like this. Some variation of that. Sometimes it's da 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 da. Sometimes it's just. it could be syncopated like that. Depends on the song and what they're doing on it, but it's always this thing where they play a power chord and they're toggling between that 5 and the 6 like that. Now, we're going to make it a little fuller and a little bit different for piano, but I wanted you to see where it all begins, okay? You can use just that on piano. It sounds fine. Let's get a heartbeat going down here. If you are going to do that, I will tell you that in my estimation, it sounds best in the lower end of what we would call the mid-range of the keyboard. So like, here's your middle C. I would want my high note probably to not be any higher than an F. And so what you can do to make it work in here, and I wouldn't want my low note to get much lower than this F. So we're going to try and keep it in this octave as much as we can. So what you can do is you can invert this. Here we've got C and G up above, and that's how it always shows up on guitar. But you could play the C on top and put that G below like that and toggle between the G and the A here. See how it's a little grittier when it's in this register? You know, it just kind of works better. So if I'm going to actually just use that 2-note power note, the power chord technique like that, I will generally move back and forth in the chords, and I'll choose sometimes to invert it, where I put the 1 on top, so that's where the C is on top and the G is below. But then if I were to go to an F chord, for example, I might play in this position where the F is on bottom, the C is on top. If I go to a G, I'm probably going to do it here. F, C. That's just me. There's no wrong way to do it, but I think that you start to lose a little bit of the intensity and the vibe as you move higher up. When you get kind of higher up on the piano, the timbre of a piano, it gets a little cheesy up here. Right? So I like to kind of keep it in that mid-range, and that's a way to kind of help do that. Now, as I said, you can use that, and there are times and places where that's very effective. But what we can also do is fill this sound out a little bit and keep the essence of it alive. So what we're going to do is we're going to play, we're going to use a little maneuver that I call a toggle. So you're going to play a full C chord. Okay? C, E, G, like this. And then what you're going to do is you're going to play the top 2 notes of that C chord like this with your fingers. Probably index and middle, okay, would be my recommendation. And then you're going to toggle to the C like that. And then we're going to go to an F chord, F and A, and then toggle the C. Because what essentially is happening with this, with that technique, is that you're moving back and forth between a chord and that chord's whatever would be the 4 chord if that were the key signature. So what is a perfect fourth above C? 1, 2, 3, 4, F. If we were doing it in the key of A, right, the 4 chord would be 1, 2, 3, 4, D. and so on and so on. You can replicate this in any of the 12 keys. You just have to decide, you have to find your major chord and then find what the 4 chord above that major chord would be, and now you're off to the races with this toggling. So So it fills the sound out a little bit, all right? But it kind of keeps the vibe because we've got that back and forth of 1 to 4, back to 1, back to 4, back to 1, back to 4, back to 1. Now, if you want to give it even a little bit fuller sound and a little bit edgier sound, then if you can stand it, stretch your hand out and play a full octave chord so that you're playing C and C like that with your thumb and pinky. And then keep that C engaged because it's a common note in both chords. And that will always hold true on whatever key signature you do this in. Because when you move to the 4 chord, this will be the part of that 4 chord. An F has F, A, C, right? And a C, obviously, a C chord obviously has a C in it. So you do your toggle, you play your chord, toggle, F, toggle, C, toggle, F, toggle. It's a little edgier when you do it that way because you're engaging that root note in 2 different places. So the chord's getting a little supercharged with the sound of C because it's got it in 2 octaves. And it helps cut back on some of the kind of like, let's call it light and fluffy happiness of the 3, right? F. So we find it in F. We've got an F chord. What's the 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. B flat, right? So here's our B flat chord. B flat, D, F. Back to C. G. F. C. Okay? So now this can be done over any type of rhythm pattern in the left hand. I like kind of reinforcing the heartbeat feel in a lot of my videos because it's the most versatile. It's the one that works with the most songs. So I just really like to put it out there as much as possible because once you get that under your hand, you have thousands of songs at your disposal just with that one rhythm pattern. But what you do with your right hand can give it all different kinds of flavoring. So we're showing it in that, but I'm going to give you some examples of how this can be used with different things happening in the left hand. But let's look at some song examples of this rhythm pattern, filling in nicely for what was a bluesy guitar riff that was driving the song along in the recording, okay? The first 2 I'm going to do actually are going to employ a walking bass line instead of a heartbeat. Then we'll do some that have the heartbeat feel. And so for the walking bass line, I'm going to play 1, 3, 5, 6, 1, 3, 5, 6. In other words, C, E, G, A. Okay? And so what I'm going to do is watch my right hand. Let me slow that down a little bit so you can really see the 2 working together. Way down in Louisiana, crossing New Orleans, way back up in Works really nicely. Now we're going to put it in another one with a walking bass line. This time we're going to feel it as a swing instead of as straight. So instead of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and we're going to feel 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay? Same thing. Same kind of walking bass line. You ain't nothing but a dog, crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a dog, crying all the time. You ain't never got a rabbit, you ain't no friend of mine. See the difference there. So that's just something of how that works with the walking bass line. But let's put that with some heartbeat feels here. Let's jump into the 70s and the late 60s here for a second. I met a gent so far away and nervous. Had to ask me upstairs for a while. Threw that woman right across my shoulder. Now I just can't seem to drink her off my mind. It's a honky-tonk woman. So give me them honky-tonk blues. All right, and we're not even doing any licks and fills or anything. I'm just trying to show you like the basic bread and butter of how to do these. But see how much authenticity it automatically brings? Just to have those two things going on. Let's do a little Steve Miller. That was the Rolling Stones. Steve Miller Band. Keep on rocking me, baby. Keep on rocking me, baby. Keep on rocking me, baby. Keep on rocking me, baby, baby, baby. Keep on rocking. From Phoenix, Arizona, all the way to Tacoma, Philadelphia, Atlanta, LA. Keep on rocking me, baby. Keep on rocking me, baby. Keep on rocking me, baby. Keep on rocking me, baby, baby, baby. Keep on rocking. Right? Then let's jump into the 80s. Queen had a song with a walking bass line. This works really beautifully on. It was a #1 hit in, actually, I don't think this is 80. I think this is 1979, but close. Well, this thing called the swing feel again. Ba ba da 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 da. Oh, this thing called love. I just can't handle it. This thing called love. I ain't ready. Crazy little thing called love. Works beautifully. And then, of course, there's like this one. I really like this example because this song actually starts out in a way where you might want to use just that because it actually opens up with the guitar just kind of doing this. I got a little change in my pocket going jangle-lang-a-lang. I want to call you keep your hands to yourself. And now you could move in to the heartbeat feel and I say, my baby, 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 why you wanna treat me this way? I'm still your lover boy, still feel the same way. Then she told me some story about the milk in a cow. Say no hugging, no kissing, until I get wet now. My honey, my baby, don't put my love upon her shelf. She said, don't get no lions and keep your hands to yourself. Right? And that's the Georgia Satellites. The point is, very versatile technique. Works for all different kinds of songs and different kinds of rhythm patterns in the left hand. It works in a swing variation. It works in a straight variation. And it's just there to basically create an authentic vibe for any time you're playing something that's kind of rooted in the blues. Because it's literally ripping off the guitar blues technique that everybody uses in those things. We're just translating it to the piano in a way that works. So hopefully this is a technique that you'll be able to employ into your piano playing immediately and enrich the experience for you as a player and anyone who's listening to you. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, I'd sure love it if you'd give it a like and subscribe to the channel and help boost my reach out into the world so that other piano players can discover this content and get the same benefits. And if you're curious, please visit the link down in the video description to my website where you can get my free song learning blueprint webinar, and no strings attached. And I'd love to have you learn more about my material and what I teach. And so I've got a lot of cool stuff over there at pianomanapproach.com. So thanks again for tuning in. I am Piano Man Steve. And remember, if you're not having fun when you're making music, you're doing it wrong. And I will see you on the next one. Take care.